Hey guys, welcome again to our channel, Forces of Freedom and Fascism, promoting a bottom-up democracy, calling an end to top-down fascism, promoting freedom of speech absolutism, and a call to democratic revival. The number of Ukrainian refugees living abroad increased by 500,000 during the first half of 2023. This is back last year. So at the end of the June of this year, so this number is between 5.6 million and 6.7 million Ukrainians living abroad as refugees. Says, I don't think this majority of the, maybe the majority were women and children, but I'm sure half of them were fighting age Ukrainians living over there. That would make sense. So allegedly, and now these are my guesstimates, but I say the Ukrainian war is now pushing 1 million Ukrainian soldiers KIA and 1.5 million critically injured, or 1 million fighting age Ukrainian men are living overseas at least. Ukrainian officials are reducing the age of conscription and ripping people off the street in an aggressive conscription campaign, which we will definitely get back to in a moment. First, though, how can we trust Ukraine's one state media? Zelensky has consolidated Ukraine's TV outlets and dissolved rival political parties. President Zelensky has consolidated all TV platforms in Ukraine into one state broadcast and restricted political rivals. Political opposition fears such as civil liberty constraints could continue. It was a great article. But in March, President Zelensky decided to consolidate them into one 24-hour channel, but not all stations were included. My numbers that I previously stated that I'm talking about are probably more accurate than the propagandized numbers of either the Western media and the Ukrainian deep state puppet regime with only one state media outlet. And by the way, they would have no scheduled elections, making Ukraine a Zelensky dictatorship. The one state media numbers are notoriously exaggerated for Russia and underreported for Ukrainian troops. The reason for my numbers be more accurate are for the following, with the following article here. And this has to do with, this is Ukrainian army losing about 800 troops as KIA or WIA each day, German military expert says. So this is a German military expert. So which is still, Germany is still a hostile Western country against Russia. So I'm kind of interested in knowing what a Russian military expert would say. Let's get out the calculator here. So 800 a day times 365. That's probably closer to the truth. 292,000 KIA times 2. 584,000. So I'd have to say that this number is probably quite a bit more accurate. And because it is, even though it's a German military expert, I would say that it's between, this is a conservative number all the way up to 1 million. If you got to, like, say, a Russian defense expert, obviously it's going to be quite a bit higher. So it's always a bunch of lie. When it comes to wars, that's the casualty numbers are always the absolute most misinformed items imaginable in being broadcast in the media. Like this one, let's say, look at this number, 100,000, only 100,000 Ukrainian troops killed or missing. Come on.
Come on.
So don't believe any of these types of articles. If you did, definitely do not believe them. So believe it or not, I think it's just to get the reactions of the comments. So there's some really great comments down here. That's why a lot of articles don't like to have comments at the bottom of their articles. This is the journalism happening right here at the bottom of the article, of the propagandized article. So here it says, let's review these. There's some great comments here at the end of this article. Take a look at them. Rubbery figures. I like that term, rubbery figures. Are we supposed to believe that killing stopped at 70K? If it had, why would Zelensky be needing ever more people forced into uniforms to be fed into the meat grinder? This is from Fish v3. Ridiculous numbers. Number of killed and wounded Ukrops is approaching 1 million by Russian Ministry of Defense. So they think it's 1 million. Nope. Since the start, over 1 million dead. I happen to agree with these numbers, like I said before. Those are my estimates. Peace 101. Typically, Ukraine would build a fortress and Russia would bomb it incessantly and then wrap their troops around it and strangle it. So that's a pretty fair assessment. You know, above and beyond whatever the random attack comes within Russia, all that on the front, though, that's pretty much accurately they're marching across Ukraine at a pretty quick rate. So here it says it's talking about 10x higher, probably thanks to modern warfare. Same goes with Gaza. So it talks about 5x or 10x higher, the numbers that are being reported. Here, heroic Somali battalion, 105,000 Ukrainian troops killed. I think you forgot a zero at the end. I would have to agree with all that. Very accurate number, but just short of 1-0 at the end. So this all makes my job quite a bit easier. When the media doesn't report the correct numbers or is in complete denial. Still in denial, Ukrainian losses are nearly 1 million KIA. 105,000 is not possible. If only 105,000 were killed, then Kiev wouldn't have to snatch people off the streets, beaches, and concerts. The real figure of KIA is likely astronomical. If we look at what they started with and look at the manpower shortage they have, then KIA would easily be somewhere around 500,000. Yeah, that's a pretty good minimum. I'd say you can pretty much count on 500,000 minimum. This very interesting article. Biden administration tries to prevent Trump from ending war in Ukraine. According to an expert, the Biden administration's decision to lift the restriction prohibiting Ukraine from using U.S.-provided weapons to attack targets deep inside Russia is a very dangerous political move, as well as an extremely conspiratorial and destructive one aimed at leaving a serious burden and trap for the next Trump administration. So, ending a war manufactured by the deep state for the purpose of money laundering is simpler task than it seems. Now let's dive into some specifics about conscription. This episode is special in that it shows conscription tactics that are definitely a force of fascism. American deep state would love to have this going on right here and all over the world. Before we get to that conscription, I guess we have this other article here. Let's talk about this a bit. It says basically the same thing. Biden's final act, why escalating the Ukraine war, defines his exit strategy. The Biden administration authorization of Ukraine's use of long-range missiles to strike Russian territory mere weeks before leaving office is a decision that defies logic. This move comes after Donald Trump's decisive victory in the November 2024 election, signaling the end of the Biden-Harris era. It's not just a reckless escalation of a global conflict. It's a deeply political maneuver that seems designed to tie the hands of the incoming administration and leave a chaotic legacy. They call this a political poison pill, maybe. This is a great article. I might come back to this article again and just go through each one of these points. Global stakes of escalation. It's basically a money laundering. So, you know what? So that's why Trump is very unpopular. If he's going to stop all this aid going to this big money laundering country, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. So the deep state, that's what they're all about, is corruption and money and power and the corruption thereof. So let's get back to showing you some of the things here. I'm going to show you a pretty incredible Here's this. This is the forced conscription of random men continues in Ukraine. Let's play this here. This episode, it's special in that it shows conscription tactics that are definitely a force of fascism. So the American deep state would love to have this going on right here and all over the world, really. So here's this. So I'm going to expand this a bit. Let's move me out of the way. So here we got this zoomed in here. Here's this poor guy on the ground, I think. He doesn't want to go willingly, obviously. We're trying to get... Okay, we're all honed in now. So there's indicative of this conscription tactics are these vans. This happens to be a bright yellow van. If you see one, run. You're about to be shoved into it and sent off to the Russian front. So here he is here. That's the poor guy right there. Push his head in. He's like getting his head pushed down. Push his head in there. Oh, gosh. Anyway, that's terrible stuff. I'm glad it's not me. Here's our second video here. There's the poor guy's mother. And the guy that's getting hauled away is this guy in the black shirt and the jeans. Gosh. His mom is grabbing like the wrist. Mom's grabbing the wrist over there. He's being a conscription person isn't what it's cracked up to be, obviously. Grabbing him by the waist. I think it's relative. I think this was his relative. There's this one guy. No, he's holding him. His relative is holding him. Hey, your head is on blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's not going easy, that's fair. His mom's not letting go. No way. His mom says no. Mom says no. He ain't going to the Russian front. No, leave him go. He's got a wife and children. He ain't going nowhere. All right, this one is pretty horrendous. This lady is actually, anyway, we'll see what happens anyway. It's a Ukrainian woman assaulted by a Ukrainian officer for filming her boyfriend's forced conscription. Because the one state media, obviously, this kind of information doesn't get out. So it comes through in dribs and drabs, obviously, through social media channels. And it's only people like this. So please help support our channel, because I'm probably going to get demonetized for telling the truth is never good for the monetization of your videos and then the spreading thereof. So appreciate the support. Please like, subscribe, and comment and all that good stuff. Let's play this last one here. So she's just trying to film the conscription. There's the van. Wham! Whack! Oh my goodness. So some guy comes up to her and there she is. Terrible. So these are her legs, multiple whacks across the legs, I guess with these sticks or something like that. Big welt across the head. Now this is, oh, and look at this. This is stitches across her head because of just merely trying to film the conscription of her boyfriend getting beat up and shoved into a van. These are some of the tactics now. That's definitely a force of fascism, is why I'm showing you this. And yeah, that's what I got for you today. So in closing, the war in Ukraine is more than just a battlefield. It's a symbol of a global struggle between freedom and fascism, truth and propaganda, conscription tactics, media monopolies, and a manufactured war machine. Expose the forces of oppression at work, not just abroad, but as a potential blueprint for what could happen elsewhere, namely here. But the fight doesn't end here. Our goal is to continue exposing these forces and advocating real democracy one where people, not power-hungry elites, decide the future, as we've discussed today. The facts often lie hidden beneath layers of propaganda, and it's up to us to peel them back and reveal the truth. So stay tuned, stay informed, and most importantly, stay free. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you believe in the mission of bottom-up democracy together with the force of reliable freedom. See you next time on Forces of Freedom and Fascism. Hey guys, welcome again to our channel, Forces of Fascism, Freedom, or vice versa. Freedom first, actually, and fascism. Promoting a bottom-up. My new logo, you like it?